night for the NBA ages. 2 MVPs, unprecedented performances. The chef cooked up one of the great games of his career, but he was outdone by the Joker, who played one of the great games in NBA history. Wait until you hear the numbers and what they all mean. Plus, the D in Big D, as usual, stands for drama. But at this point, does it also start to feel more like depressing? All that and more as we get up with you starting right now. Let's go. Make some noise. Look at this. Look at the squad we have put together today. Graziano was in France. You missed a lot.
I did.
And he was back in Palm Beach.
Got more mugs.
Shams is back with us here. A delight to have him. You see the squad as per usual. But we've got a brand new. We got to say quick welcome.
Yeah. We got more
welcome,
people.
Everybody.
We got
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Schrager. What's up, man? Let's go. Peter Schrager, welcome to ESPN.
I'm here for it. Let's get to some Jokic highlights. Can we get it already? Let's go.
Peter came all this way to do Steph Curry and Jokic highlights. Roll them. We'll get to the football, but we start with the best night of the NBA season, the best night of the year. Steph and the Warriors visiting Memphis, and Jay Will, Steph just went off.
Well, when you're a drop coverage, Zach Edey, the chances are Steph Curry's going to get open shots.
Not great.
All these buckets early, Monica. This is all first quarter stuff here from Steph. Give it up and get it back.
The pace of this game was frenetic, but Stephen Curry's control in this one, getting exactly what he wanted. We just highlighted this matchup here, and cashing in, Greeny, disrespectful.
Over the 7-4, Zach Edey, and then here's another. Steph, 19 points on 5 of 6 from 3 in the first quarter. Warriors a 13-point lead. Then, Jay, to the second quarter we go, and look at the range here.
I mean, you get up, who's on the shooter? How do you leave a guy who was 19 in the first quarter? The shot was spectacular, but the defense was even worse.
And now we're turning defense into offense, going the other way, and it's Steph going to wind up with the bucket again, and the Warriors have a 5-point lead. We're still in the first half. Steph, watch this. Come on.
Now he's hot.
He might be the best he's been shooting.
I think he's the scariest.
Last night was... Woo!
8 threes in the first half, Shams. Warriors up 8 at the break. But now, Warriors are down by 3. They needed every bit of this from Steph. Look at that. 45 points, 11 threes through 3, tied at 103 going to the fourth quarter. And then more ball movement. Shams, this one's going to give him an even 50.
Unbelievable. He had a nice round of golf this week while the team was on their road trip in Miami and Augusta and all these places that he went. So I'm sure he's locked and loaded.
By the way, Jimmy Butler had a quiet 27.
Very quiet.
Golf never does that for me. Brandon Przemski with the tip in there, and Steph Curry and the Warriors wind up with an absolutely thrilling win. For Steph Curry, it's certainly not his first 50-piece. It's the 15th of his career, tied with Dame Lillard for 6th in NBA history, well behind Wilt Chamberlain. Here was his coach, Steve Kerr, on the Chef's performance.
I mean, the guy's 37 years old. It's incredible. 52 points with people draped all over him all game long. The conditioning, the skill, the audacity, the belief. It's just incredible to watch Steph at work. I mean, I can't believe he's still doing this at this age, but he's put the work in and he still got it.
Here, Shams, to pick up on the point you were making, Stephen A. Smith for years has been saying he's the greatest shooter that God ever created. But he actually, right now, may be shooting better than he ever has in his career.
I mean, it's remarkable. And a lot of it is the conditioning and how he carries his body and things like that. And the Warriors have been smart about his minutes, too. And they've tried to do the best they can. That's why you go out and get Jimmy Butler. They're plus-minus with Jimmy Butler in the lineup and Steph Curry off the floor. There's some stats the Warriors in their front office they've cooked up. He's been getting a lot more time of rest even on different plays when Jimmy Butler has the ball in his hands. But Stephen Curry, that's where the ball belongs. That's where he's best at. And that's why this Warriors team is a legitimate contender. Anytime you have Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Greeny, they've gone from the back end of the play-in tournament to a legitimate title contender.
Go.
Look, 52, 10, and 8. One of the scariest things I've seen. He's no longer the underdog babyface assassin.
Ain't been that in years, Jay.
I know, but listen, he is the villain now, and I think he's embracing being the villain. And the beautiful thing about this, he's the petty king. I think this is the scariest thing we've ever seen Steph Curry be at level-wise for the way he plays. Like, he's entering the similar phase to when Kobe was Black Mamba. I think you're entering a dark Steph phase, right? Where little things like this, that's just him finding his rhythm. Look how he just runs up in the face of Desmond Bane. Like, if it's night-night, if it's the trash talking that he has, if it's with Jimmy Butler, if it's with Draymond Green, this is the next iteration of Steph Curry that's trying to win a chip in the next 2 years.
Let me put up A19 if we can, by the way, Cindy, because to illustrate the point that Shams was making, you know, we talked so much at the deadline about the trade for Luka, but the reality is the Warriors are 18-2 when Steph and Jimmy Butler play together this season. What is this team becoming right in front of our eyes, Monica?
To that end, Greeny, I'll raise you one. They're 12-0. They found a starting lineup that is successful. That's Curry, Butler, Green, Moody, and Podziemski, who was a guy who last year was having a terrific rookie season. This year got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but he's finding his way. Steph was fantastic in this one, but the team in totality, Jay, you mentioned the casual 27 for Jimmy Butler. Draymond Green, a triple-double in this one. And then you look at the guys they've got coming off the bench and Post and Santos that have been able to kind of hold the fort at that 4-5 position, because so many of us have talked about the lack of size with this group.
Jay, we have been calling the Western Conference the OKC Invitational for some time. Who's their biggest threat?
Golden State. It's with the way they play. Steph Curry has gotten loose and free multiple times in OKC. Jimmy Butler gives you a size issue. The way they play, the versatility, the way they switch everything, positions 1 through 5 with Draymond Green. Look, the Lakers will be there. Denver will be there. Minnesota has a size challenge to OKC, but I think versatility-wise, Golden State is the biggest threat, biggest matchup issue.
So we all had that question last night, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment. I don't think that that is prisoner of the moment. My one concern with that one is, I know you mentioned the switchability, but this is where I do wonder if the size is going to come into play when you look at what OKC has as far as the size.
Mm-hmm. I do, but go ahead, James.
This is Jimmy Butler's season coming up. His real season is the NBA playoffs. The one area of concern, though, the last hurdle the Warriors have this year is figuring out how they're going to optimize Jonathan Kuminga. Steve Kerr, that organization, the roster, I'm told, their leadership, they're trying to figure out exactly where he fits in best. Is it the dunker spot? Is it being a slasher? Defender with Gary Payton II out. But he's a guy that started the year with the ball in his hands. He's a guy that feels like he's a star caliber player, a guy like Pascal Siakam, Jaylen Brown. They have not been able to optimize him yet. He's really that last piece that could take him over the top.
All right, we'll see what the Warriors can do. But if Steph really is petty and doesn't, is paying attention, let's make him aggravated. Steph, congratulations. You had the second best performance of the NBA night last night. Show me the Joker, people. This might have been the NBA game of the year. Jokic and the Nuggets hosting the Timberwolves. We're going to pick it up in the fourth quarter because it got nuts. This Jokic 3 in the fourth quarter, early fourth, gives him 40 points and counting, and the Nuggets are up by 5. And now we got 7 minutes left, and they're up by 8, and it's Jokic inside. They're up by 11 after the free